Hey man, say man, what it do, still with the cash like a big boss out, boss dog can't fall through the door, hit the top of box fucking my soliloquy. And tough times don't last. Good people do. Turn off yourself. Call them in the fire line if you met her. Peep to the game. Peep to the game. 84s on what to the swing. You already know what this is, baby. This clutch factory, clutch factory. You know we're talking about that boxing. Before we get to the main dish, and introduce the ticket host, future Hall of Famer, pro coach. Word on the hustle. Salute to all our soldiers. AJ Coach B. Let me know how you doing, man.
What it is, folks. Just like Capo said, just like we always say over here on this channel, we clutched up, we clutched out. Y'all know we're here to talk about. And I'm gonna cut straight through the chatter, straight through the chit chat. Y'all know what I'm finna tell y'all. God wake y'all up. He put breath in y'all body. Everything else is extra. Get up, do you, take care of the fam. With all that being said, I'm gonna pass it back to Capo. We're gonna continue the show. Let them know how we flow.
Already. So Shakur Stevenson, is coming off a big win. This is the biggest win in his career. He dominated Teofimo Lopez. I had it a straight sweep. They gave one round to Teofimo. I don't know what round they gave to him, but they gave it to him. But he's been saying some interesting things. Um, as of late, even before the fight with Tiffany, he was saying some things. He wants a rehydration clause for Conor Bean. He wants a rehydration clause for Devin Haney, right? Although he said that I don't do those type of things, but I want a rehydration clause. Now, previous interviews, Shakur Stevenson has made fun of Javante Tank Davis for putting a rehydration clause on Ryan. And other fighters, he's made fun of them for that. He said he don't do rehydration clause. He said he thinks that's weak. He thinks skills pay the bills. That's what he previously said. Now that he's at that top, well, he's almost at top level. To me, I don't think he's there yet, but he wants to rehydration clause. So, Coach, what you think about Shakur Stevenson and his conflicting statements?
I ain't gonna cook him just yet. I want to see where he headed with it. You know what I'm saying? Pause, no freak isn't full effect at this point. But like I said, I ain't gonna cook him just yet. I'm just turn the pan on light and just let him sear a little bit. But here's my thing with it. I'm gonna go straight into the last interview he spoke about the rehydration clause. I'm gonna skip all the other stuff. Y'all already know about that. Capo already put y'all up on game. Recent interview shows or recent interview says that Shakur Stevenson is basically saying, I'm gonna put a rehydration clause on Haney, Conor Ben, and anybody up there in that weight class. And I'm gonna give you, 10 pounds. Okay. First things first. If you're gonna put a rehydration clause on them and you're gonna give them 10 pounds, what's the point of even giving them the rehydration clause? Period. 2 more pounds, they're gonna be full on, what they're supposed to be, walk around weight. 10 pounds. I think that's a contradicting statement in itself. Then let's veer off into the whole situation where it's like skills pay the bills. I don't need that. Okay, we all understand that scenario. Skills do pay the bills, and that's true. But you said you don't need a rehydration clause, but yet I feel like personally your skills is a little bit more, well, not even a little bit, it's superior than Conor Ben. So why would you put a rehydration clause on that dude? That should be a guy where you say, you know what, be who you want to be. My skills gonna pay the bills that night, and I'm gonna beat you to sleep regardless. I'm gonna beat you to sleep regardless. You can be 150, 160, whatever you want to be. I'm gonna box you to sleep. Skills pay the bills. That means he ain't gonna be able to touch you. So again, just stop contradicting yourself. So I'm gonna fall off into number three. Now that he's there and he knows he has no choice, he knows eventually he's gonna have to move up and to get some of the stiffer competition up under his belt and get him on a resume. So he's already throwing out in the atmosphere for future references that, hey, if I do go up and I do want to fight you guys, which I know I'm gonna have to, be prepared. Be prepared because I'm gonna use this clause. Me, I think that's a sign of nervousness. I think that's a sign of nervousness. You know them guys up there, Devin Haney, kind of being them boys they come ready to punch. Devin Haney, knocking down Brian Norman in his last fight. Kind of being we already know what he coming with. He get in the ring, he ready for war, and he can throw him. He got a little pop behind his punches. So Shakur is already setting up an obstacle or a hurdle or a fallback, play before he even reaches, the point to where it's like, okay, there's nobody left down here at 135. There's nobody left, down here around 140. So I know I got to move up if I want to continue to become a great. So, like I said, he's already putting a play out in the atmosphere. That way, he got his plan where he can lean back on it. That way, when the time comes, it's not so surprising and it doesn't make it seem like, oh, I just did it. Nah, I see where this is going. It's kind of it's a nervous play because, like I said, he know he's gonna have to go up there. So he's like I said, he's putting a little cushioning, a little padding in place for himself, so he cannot say when he gets there, "I told you I was coming," but this was gonna happen when I did get here. So, like I say, I'm not gonna cook him just yet because I want to see how it play out because honestly, I don't think he even gonna fight those guys. So that's another reason why I think he said it. But like I said, I ain't ready to just cook yet on the subject. But I'm gonna let it sear. I'm gonna just toss it in the pan. And with that being said, I'm gonna toss it back to Capo.
I already body bagged and toe tagged him on this topic, so y'all know how I feel about this. We're gonna stay right to the next one. Ryan Garcia versus Barrios. Man, fight is coming up. I believe it's we 2 weeks away from it. Plus, do you think that Ryan Garcia is gonna take this fight seriously and win his first title or something?
Ooh, you know what? I went all in on Shushu Carrington. I said he was gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I said he's gonna take it serious. He might face a little adversity. And no, this don't have nothing to do with Ryan. This is just me on how I've been going about my thought process and on how I'm picking these fights and well, picking these fighters in these fights. Excuse me, with their first shot at a title. Excuse me. But you know what? Like I said, I picked Shushu. I thought he was going to take it serious. I said he was going to face a little bit of trouble if he didn't have his mental right, and which he did, but he got back in there and he won it. So for Ryan Garcia, I'm going to ride that same wave. I think Ryan Garcia is going to get in there. It's going to be a little difficult at first because I'm not going to say Barios is top notch or he elite of the elite, but Barios ain't no pushover. He's been in there with some pretty decent fighters. He's been in a lot of title fights, so he's used to the stage. He's used to the crowd. He's used to to everything that comes with it. So he's prepared mentally. Hopefully, he's prepared physically because honestly, I think this is going to be the first time we actually see Barrios 100% struggle. Like I say, in the beginning, it's going to be a little difficult for Ryan, but he going get through that. He gonna get past it, and then all of a sudden he gonna settle in. He gonna start walking Barrios like a dog. Because I just don't see Barrios having anything in his skill set or his tool belt to where he can pull it out and stop Ryan. I think Ryan's too fast. I think Ryan's too strong. I think Ryan is understanding this pivotal moment in his career. Yes, he still does his thing on social media or whatnot, but you can see when they do show Ryan and he's working, he has the look of focus on his face. So with that being said, I think Ryan is going to take this serious. I think he's going to take it serious enough to where we may see Barrios get knocked down and or knocked out. If I was going to say a knockout was to happen, I think Ryan Garcia catch him slipping rounds between rounds 7 and 9, and I think he get Barrios up out of there if it does happen. But knockdown for sure. I think he's gonna knock him down for sure. But all in all, I think Ryan Garcia gets his first title shot. He puts himself back in, the big talks. He puts himself in contention to becoming Devin Haney's mandatory. We get a chance to see that fight again live in the flesh. We can see if Devin Haney really learned. We can see if Ryan Garcia really still has that power to knock Devin Haney out. But I'm gonna be honest too. I think Ryan Garcia, like I said before, is Devin Haney's kryptonite, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Um, this fight for me is is tough. I got to do a little bit more research, and a little bit more studying. Um, I do think Ryan Garcia's focus is just you never know what you're gonna get with Ryan. Ryan's kind of like Teofimo, like you don't know what you're gonna get when you support him and you back him, he lose. When you when you doubt him, he wins. So it's just you don't know what you're gonna get. I gotta do a little bit more just analyzing, right? Because Mario Barrios, a lot of people sleep on him, man. He got a pretty decent resume, and a lot of fights he fight is tough, right? When he fought Tank, he was beating Tank until Tank said, "I'm tired of you," and knocked that boy out. When he fought Pacquiao, draw. When he fought Keith Thurman, he still lost, but it was very, very competitive. So Mark Barrios, he don't do nothing flashy, but he do. You know you in for a fight when you fight him. That's just what it is. I think a lot of people look at him like he trash, and um, rightfully so compared to the other guys of the division. But then when he fight, people ain't just outright beating him, like just outright knocking him out. Right? The only person to do that was Tank. So I think that Ryan is in for a tough competitive fight. He got to throw more than that left hook coach. You know what I mean? I don't
Hmm.
I don't know what he's been working on, but he got to throw more than that left hook because he in there with a tall, rangy fight as well. And Barrios been at 47 longer, so uh, we'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see. I got to do a little bit more film study. Looking at the feet and because me and Coach when we do our film stuff, a lot of stuff we talk about is crazy how similar we analyze stuff. We look at the feet. So I gotta look at his feet and then go from the ground up. You know what I mean? All the way to the intellect, shot placement, things like that. So that's my take on it. We're gonna set off to the next one. Oh, Shaky Foster, Mr. Orange, Texas, man. But he in that age right now. He said, man, Shakur's still a cat, right? Right? We got, we keep it clean on Clutch Factory, man. We ain't trying to talk that, But y'all know what he's saying. Yeah, cat. And Shaq Foster wants to fight Shakur Stevenson at 135. He also said that he gonna whoop Shakur and then go fight Raymond Ford. So, Coach, what do you think about Shaq Foster's energy towards Shakur Stevenson? Granted, Shakur Stevenson just got stripped of his title yesterday or the day before yesterday. So there's no belt on the line. But Shaky Foster still want that work. How do you feel about the beef between the two? And do you think this might have happened? I mean, that's right.
I ain't gonna lie. I think Oshaki Foster really got some heat towards Shakur Stevenson. With Shakur, I really don't know because he's been kind of building his character around the wannabe you know tough guy gangster type deal, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, until you run into somebody really like that, we ain't gonna know. But at this point, he about to he eventually gonna run into him. I think Oshaki Foster gonna chase that fight down, honestly. And if he don't, I'll be sad. But I hope he do. I really hope he chase that fight down. I would love to see Oshaki Foster and Shakur Stevenson in the same ring because I think that'll be a classical matchup. But at the end of the day, I really think Oshaki Foster got Shakur Stevenson, and I'm just being honest, like because Oshaki Foster can do what Shakur Stevenson do, but at the same time, he can also be offensively dominant in the ring. He can counterpunch. He can be slick. He can he can use his IQ to time you. He's accurate. He has maneuverability. He has escapability, and he also can play that cat and mouse game very well. So I'm not gonna say Oshaki Foster is worlds and levels better than Shakur Stevenson, but at the same time, I respect Oshaki Foster a lot, and not just because he's from Texas, but at the same time, the way he's moved himself throughout his career, it's like a dog in the night. Every time he get a chance to get a bite or something, he going to eat, and that's what he been doing his entire career. So I like the fact that he's standing on business, standing on his chin, holding himself down, saying what he say because he been saying what he's saying now about Shakur. He been calling that man a meow. You know what I'm saying? A cat. He's standing true to that, and he don't care who Shakur beat or who Shakur get in there and go at it with. He been saying it. and I believe he's gonna chase that fight down, and I really want him to. I want to see that fight because that's 100% wholeheartedly. If they do fight, I'm rolling without Shockey Foster in that fight, and I think he got the talent and the skill set and the mindset to actually knock Shakur Stevenson out. I feel like he can really do that, and you know, on older episodes, we would only say Tank probably be the only guy, but I think O'Shaquie Foster, after watching him, time in, time out, the last few years of his professional career, that dude got a lot in him, and I think that dog gonna come out that night against Shakur Stevenson, and I think he gonna get that man to exit stage, center left. You know what I'm saying? So, I wholeheartedly, I really want that fight to happen. That'll be a live fight, a real good fight for the people to see. But at the end of the day, we can only speculate, we can only hope, we can only wish. But if y'all listening, y'all out there, we the fans, let's push for it. Oshaki want us to push for it. Shakur Stevens is probably gonna run from it. I already know it's gonna go down, but it is what it is, and I'm gonna leave that like that.
Yeah, I think to answer directly, I love the fight. I think Shaq Foster has the tools to beat Shakur Stevenson. People think we crazy when we say that, but Shaq is a good boxer, bro. And don't be shocked if he able to derail or dethrone Shakur Stevenson. That's all I'm saying. Um, Check out to the next one. Richardson, Richardson Hitchens, man. He got that Shakur syndrome. What do I mean? Contradictory, right? He been diagnosed with contradictorism. Pause. That's the word. Contradictorism. The brother came out and said that basically he won't fight Shakur Stevenson. But he said on another platform that he told Shakur to his face that he will fight him if it came down to it. So, Coach, what do you feel about Richard Hitchens' statements? Um, how do you feel about these young fighters in general? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm getting tired of this stuff, bro. There's too much talking, and then they contradict themselves, and then they get mad at you when you call them out on that stuff. But like, nigga, I'm sorry I use that word, but you the one that said it. What you mad for? You should be mad at yourself.
Thanks.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Taking up your time. Let me know something.
Nah, you good. You good, man. I understand your frustration. What's the word you just said? How you say it?
Contradictism.
Yeah, there we go. That word right there. That word and that younger generation of boxing right now, 100% tied together. At the balls. Excuse my French. They tied together. They born with it. They love contradicting themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I think it started to become a play in their book that they all can utilize because now there is no they're all getting to the point where there is no place to run. And one guy will push the envelope and the other guy is already pushing the envelope. And then when it's time to, sit down and talk that business and both guys, sit down, sign, seal, delivered and fight each other, they're like, no, I got other plans in mind. Maybe in the future down the road we can, and we already know what that means. Future down the road, bro. That mean next life. It ain't happening because that nowadays, like I say, we didn't see it too many times. Oh, down the road, in the future, down the road, in the future. Then something comes up where one fighter just falls off the scene, never return, or just never be the same. And then you got one fighter who choose to move up 2, 3 weight divisions. Oh, I couldn't wait on him, and so, this and that, and third. Man, we ain't got time for that. Back in the day, the way it was, 1 through 8 and possibly 10, they gonna line it up. And if you won, you got to be 2 all the way down to 9, 10 before we even talk about you being the great. These days, they can skip around 2. They can drop down to 22, then come back up and talk noise to number 3. Number 3 like, okay, 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 okay. Then number 1 like, okay, okay. Then number 3 just all of a sudden, I got other plans. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of that. It's annoying. it's becoming a play that they run to, especially the when the timeline is lining up for them to absolutely 100% meet. They start becoming each other's mandatory. They start holding different titles. They start preventing each other from getting unifications, undisputed. You know what I'm saying? They starting to see that a lot. So this is the favorite play they pull out. They pull this play out. They get to contradicting themselves, and not only that, I think they all just scared of each other, but nobody really just want to say, "Hey, you scared of me," but I don't care if you're scared of me. We're gonna fight anyway. You know what I'm saying? I think all of them scared of each other, but nobody really want to say who the scariest or who the toughest. Everybody just kind of like, nah, we too cool, or nah, we bros, or nah, that's not in my future. I got other fish to fry. Oh, come on, man. We don't want to hear that. Y'all boys need to fight. Y'all need to scrap. And honestly, if Richardson Hitchens was to get in the ring with Shakur Stevenson, I would kind of lean towards Richardson Hitchens simply because his jab is just as good as Shakur, but at the same time he's a little bit taller, he's a little bit ranchier. So I would favor Richardson Hitchens to win that fight. So why would you run from that? And like I tell these younger fighters all the time, there's nothing wrong with having an L on your record to a guy who's supposed to be able to beat you, or at least he can get in the ring and compete with you. There's nothing wrong with that. Like they all run from that. Oh, I don't want to fight him because he might put an L on my record. Man, bump that. You're gonna have to beat me. You're gonna have to put the L up there. You're just gonna have to. And even then, I'm still might not believe it, and I'm gonna try you again. If you put two up there, so be it. All right, cool. You the better fighter. I gave you two opportunities. I gave myself two opportunities to fight you. You beat me twice. You the better fighter. What's wrong with that? Boys ain't got no intestinal fortitude these days. They ain't got no cajones. And we tired of over here on Clutch Factory. Y'all boys need to fight. Or stay off the mic. You know what I'm saying? Stay off social media. Stop contradicting yourself. Stop talking so much. If you're gonna talk, walk the walk. If you ain't gonna talk, then at least walk the walk. Something. Show us something different.
This brother needs help. Richardson Hitchens, man. You need some help, right? You've been hanging around Shakur too long, right? Maybe you need to go back and hang with Tank. I don't know. Well, Tank probably gonna be in jail. But at the end of the day, you weren't contradicting yourself. You hanging with Tank. You start hanging with Shakur, now you're saying foolishness. I just think that Richard Hitchens got to focus on his fight. He got a competitive fight against Oscar Duarte. What about his fight? He's talking about everybody but Oscar Duarte. He talking about David Haney. He talking about Shakur. He talking about everybody but his opponent. Focus on your opponent, brother. And also, you need to stop contradicting yourself. Let's contradict yourself. Pause. You know what I'm saying? I just think that you gotta understand that there's video, and cause I think I don't think they understand that. Like they think people just don't remember what they say. Like there's cameras. The dangerous thing about the world today is there's cameras everywhere. It's on your phone, your TV, in your car. Like it's cameras everywhere. So when you say certain things, people document it. And when you was on Ring Champs with Akim Barak, I could have sworn you told them, I'll fight Shakur. But then you gonna come over here and say, oh nah, man, basically I won't fight Shakur. No, it's not how this works, bro. So I just think that at the end of the day, you just want y'all to fight. Stop talking so much. Stop trying to make yourself look a certain way that you're not. Just fight. That's all we want. Fight then. Just fight. That's it. Shut up to the next topic. Sebastian Fundora, Keith Thurman is back on, man. It's back on March 28th. Coach, how do you feel about this fight being back on? How does Fundora beat Keith Thurman? How could Keith Thurman beat Fundora? Let me know something.
I'm glad it's back on. You know what I'm saying? This is something I wanted to see when it was initially supposed to happen. Uh, again, I like to fight. Something I really want to see. Something that could be good for the sport of boxing, depending on how it turns out. Sebastian Fundora, how does he win this fight? I mean, simple fight plan. I'm not gonna say a simple fight plan, but a uncomplicated fight plan would be to work behind the jab, kind of keep the measuring stick out there a little bit, keep Thurman, keep keep Thurman at bay. That's the tongue twister right there. Uh, and just keep the jab in his face. Don't get too caught up in trying to make it a firefight and be on the inside too long. Also, try to utilize a little bit of lateral movement. That way, he's not able to close the distance on you so soon, so early, and so often. So that's a simple fight plan for Sebastian Fundora. Like I say, avoid the firefights, keep the jab out there, keep the stick pumping. Uh, Use some lateral movement and exchange when you need to. Keep yourself out of harm's way. For Keith Thurman, like I said, this is one of those nights where you're gonna have to come out and be the aggressor. You're gonna have to be a lion against a tiger. You know what I'm saying? A young, hungry cat like Sebastian Fundora, he's still trying to pave his way. He's still trying to brand himself and make himself, 100% marketable on any platform. So, like I said, he's a young, hungry tiger, but you're gonna have to be the old, hungry lion. You're gonna have to be that scar almost. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to come out and be willing to risk it all. Because you know what I'm saying, I don't know how much Keith Thurman has left in his tank. He's one of the OGs, one of the true OGs left in the sport of boxing, and he still has a little bit in his tank, but it ain't much. But at the same time, I think he's gonna have to come out immediately and cut the distance immediately. Get right in his chest, stay glued to Fundora's chest, and any chance you get a chance to release any type of combination, whether you hit the elbows, the forearms, the right above the belt line, whatever you can hit them. Because again, Sebastian Fundora, he's tall, he's lanky, but he's bony. Those shots start to weigh in, especially when you're hitting straight bone. It starts to weigh in, the arms become heavy, and then maybe you can catch him slipping. We seen Tim Tszyu have some success when he was alive in the ring with Sebastian Fundora, but at the same time, I believe that that type of formula is going to be what Keith Thurman needs to win this fight. He's going to have to get glued to his chest and just beat whatever he can beat until Sebastian Fundora just kind of has one of those moments where he's slipping and he's tired, or maybe he's just a little bit sore and he's moving slower than normal, and he catch him off guard and boom, 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 put him on the mat. But I think he's gonna have to knock him out to win this fight. I don't see Keith Thurman winning this fight going a whole 12 rounds. But at the same time, you never know. Like I said, Keith Thurman is an OG. He been around the world. He been in the ring with some tough competitors. He been in there with elite competitors. He is an elite competitor, in my opinion. So you never really know what this old lion got up his sleeve. But I think it's going to be tough to beat that young cat.
I think my bad, a little bit of technical difficulty. I think that it's a very intriguing matchup. Um, Intriguing in the sense of I want to see how Keith Thurman is going to deal with Sebastian Fundora as far as length wise. Pause. Big pause on that. That's crazy. That is very crazy. But Sebastian Fundora is 6'6". Keith Thurman, if I'm not mistaken, is like 5'10". So I want to see how he's going to deal with that. How is he? What game plan he's going to formulate? Now Keith Thurman does have power. He can box. He got good feet. But you're going against a Fundora who likes to fight in the phone booth. So, but Fundora has not fought a fighter who has the IQ of a Keith Thurman. Now, Keith Thurman is older; he's 37, but he still got that IQ. He knocked out that Ken doll, right? He flushed him, and we have seen Fundora be vulnerable and get caught with some shots, right? So, um, I just want to see how and what Keith Thurman's game plan is. We know he got to get inside. I think mid range to inside would be perfect, and throwing in between Fundora shots. Because I don't think Fundora is fast. I think he relies on his length and timing and just being tough with it. That's what he relies on. And he bony. You know what I'm saying? Like he elbow you, your whole head open like butt cheeks. Pause. That's crazy. But that's what it is. He split Tim Tszyu open, right? It's If he hit you with an elbow, you're look for the rest of the night. Your cut man better be the best because you finna be leaking. All right, that's just real talk. So, um, what I think Keith Thurman got to do, like I said, is fight that mid range to inside and look to turn uh Fundora. Fundora, I say just stay long, work the jab, man. Keep Thurman on the outside, work the jab, put some punches together. Combination punching is very key. Turn Keith Thurman and just like I said, keep him on the end of your punches. You know what I mean? I am picking Sebastian Fundora to win this fight. I think Sebastian Fundora is figuring out who he is as a champion. And coach, it comes a point in time where fighters, um, they get confident, they find out who they are as a fighter. And I feel like Fundora has grown into that. I think he's finding out who he is as a fighter. And I think that's why I won't say he's the best at 54, because I think there are other guys that can beat him. But at the same time, it's going to be a tough fight. And I just think Fundora is is a guy that is gonna be that in that tough fight that's gonna you in other words you gonna have to go tooth and nail with this dude. You gonna have to figure out because for starters he's 6'6". For starters he got a long jab and he's figuring out how to use his mind instead of using his heart. And I feel like with him he's developing his skill set and he's getting more disciplined defensively. I just think he's gonna be tough to beat. I like Keith Thurman. You better not dunk me, son. That right hand is money. But Fundora is a whole. I don't know. And Keith Thurman being inactive, so we'll see how this thing goes. Cause you got anything else?
No, sir. That'll be it on me.
Yeah, man. We didn't talk about a little bit of everything. We didn't dibble and dabble on this episode, man. Y'all continue to support us though. You know what I mean? This is Genesis, this is the beginning. We're still trying to grow the channel. We're still trying to, work on a few things. So if you see something that may be a good idea, don't hesitate to provide that information. We grown men, man. We ain't prideful individuals. Um, now if you hating, that's a different story. What come with that. But other than that, tell your mama, your auntie, your grandpa, your boss's boss, your boss mama, tell all of them. You know what I mean? Go down to bitch in there in Houston, tell the prostitute. Uh, but for real, tell everybody, man. Help us grow this channel, man. We trying to grow, and we want y'all to grow with us. So, um, boss, coach, we clutched up, we clutched out. We out here.
Salute.